Stop! Police!
Oh, shit.
We have a multiple 600 in progress for most of each. Subject is 25 and appears to have shit his pants.
Get back here!
Hey, what's up? This is Community Service with Craig Conant. That's me. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we're starting, bitch.
Oh, no.
Put your phone down, pussy face. This is how we do it over here. This is Community Service Podcast with my friend Ahamed Weinberg. How are you?
tricked me. You're like, answer your phone. I get it. I do that too. And then you're like, and now we begin.
What's up, pussies? I'm not wearing a hat today. You know why? I blew dry my hair. Why am I talking like this? I get excited.
How you normally talk?
Yeah, I know. I talk.
How long have you talked like this?
Oh, I don't know. It's weird.
Were you a kid just like, I need my diaper changed?
No, I can talk normal, but I get excited and I mess up words a lot. Too much. Way too much. And also when I'm nervous, it happened to me in acting class, improv class, stand up. Like I get like a growl, you know. I go. One time I was doing a self tape, and my buddy's like, "Why are you growling?" I was like, "I'm not trying to," and I couldn't stop it. He's like, "Just talk, like you talk to me." And then he'd go like, "Go," and I'd go, you know, and I couldn't. It's just
You do have it's a little guttural. There's like a dog inside of you.
I know.
But a puppy.
Did I mention your name yet?
Yeah.
Okay, he's funny. Yeah, he's a good man. I love him. He was late.
Yeah, I was late. I'm sorry.
It was in his head. I have an appointment. I gotta get my beard dyed red. Is that what it was?
I do that every day. Yeah. I gotta maintain the gender thing because that's diversity is important in Hollywood. So if I'm just a white guy with a regular beard, I got nothing.
I'm gonna shave my pussy.
Oh, this is that kind of podcast. I'm going to try to have a real conversation. You're going to be like, my pussy itches.
No, never. I just squished my balls there. What do you diet with? Kool-Aid? I used to drink so much Kool-Aid.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm like, damn, Mom. Come on, Tilly. What are you doing?
So your house growing up, you had no, like, it wasn't healthy? You guys could just eat whatever you wanted?
Top ramen and Kool-Aid, bro.
Oh, what a dream.
Feed the mind. Yeah.
My house growing up was all health food, and it was like tofu.
You wish for mine? I wish for yours. I have ulcers.
We have the same body.
I do not have ulcers. We do. But like, that's like cool for a treat, a once in a while. I call it poison. I still drink poison. I drank a Red Bull the other day. I call it liquid poison.
Oh, yeah. Red Bull is definitely.
I love it.
Yeah.
But like, I have it like only once a month. Or like if I don't want to die and I'm driving home at 3 a.m. and I don't want to die already.
Red Bull's got something in it that's way more powerful than coffee.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
It's tweak because then like I'll do it from like when we do San Diego or whatever. I have to drive down, do the show, and drive home. And then on the drive home, I'm like so I'll do a Red Bull in advance so I don't fall asleep and crash. And then I get home and I'm exhausted and then I can't sleep. And it's like it's like a catch-22. It's like I want to go to sleep, but I want to live.
That's how any medicine is like that. Is that there's always a downside. Like antidepressants.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you'll feel good, but you can't come. There's always a downside. It's like God is always like, hey, you can have the answer, but there's a side effect and it's going to be worse than you think.
That's really funny. Have you done that on stage?
No.
You should, dude. That's golden or a fucking fire tweet.
Do you ever take shit you say on the podcast and bring it to stage?
I don't remember.
Sorry to interview you.
No, I need it. Maybe, probably, hopefully. I should.
I find that talking for like an hour straight especially with comedians, I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
And I'll listen back to my podcast and be like, oh yeah, maybe there's a joke somewhere.
Yeah.
In that.
A lot of times, like maybe something I have for stage that I can't figure out, I can say on here and talk it out and then be like, oh, that's what you should do or need to do, you know?
Yeah, and how you say things when you're talking to a friend is kind of like, oh, that's how I should say it on stage, because that's like I'm talking.
I love and hate that, but how many times you have organic conversations with a comedian buddy and it's just fire.
I know.
And then you go, how do I capture that and put it on stage? And then you try and it just bombs. You're like, God damn it.
I know, you get on stage and you're like, I'll go to Trader Joe's.
Hey, man.
What?
Get out.
Oh, I applied for a job at Trader Joe's. Did I ever tell you this?
Who's the loser now, huh?
Me, 100%.
I got hired.
One of
I
the
got
lowest.
hired. You went on to be on TV 9 times. Well, what would he do?
I got a rejection letter from like Captain John or something. It's like, we're so sorry we can't hire you.
They accepted
Sincerely,
me.
Captain Earl or whatever.
That's so funny.
There's nothing worse than getting a rejection letter from a captain.
But if you just took a picture of us smiling and it was like accepted and denied, that's just funny to me.
Why? Because you have longer hair?
Yeah, well, because I just look like drugs and you look like, oh, that guy will get the job done.
Huh.
Right? Am I sorry to juxtapose you?
Maybe they
Is
were
that the right
racially
word?
profiling. They saw my red beard.
Red, yeah, that's true. Yeah, your beard's
They have a
bad.
strict
Beard's bad.
No ginger policy.
No ginger. Ginger.
And when I was young, I wanted to work at Trader Joe's. And my dad didn't want me to work there because he's going to hate me saying this. He thought everyone who worked at Trader Joe's was gay.
It's true.
Is it? I don't know why he thought this.
No, I mean, maybe at Trader Joe's was Hollywood, but no, their Trader Joe's has always been very liberal. So there's always, I had a manager with fucking neck tattoos, you know, like
Yeah.
ton of gay dudes, ton of fucking drug addicts, ton of essays, cholos. There's a fools just straight selling fucking tweak on the phone on the frozen aisle I used to work with. I'm like, dude, like, go outside, you know? No, I'll meet you there, fool. Don't worry. All right. It's like you're stocking peas right now, Jose. Like, get it? I just got a bit.
Hey, good.
Did you get it? Yeah, that is inspired by a real event. He was fired very shortly after. Several of my coworkers, one guy went to jail and just got fired because of no call. I missed work twice because I was in jail, and they didn't fire me.
And I can't get a fucking callback at Trader Joe's.
The firecracker horse bit I have, that made the paper, and my manager, I shouldn't say his name. I stopped myself. I'm getting better at that. You know who he is, though.
Yeah.
Right after it happened, I walk into Trader Joe's, missed work because of jail, and he's holding the paper with the article right there. He's like, and he's so funny. He goes, holding it up. This is a scene from a movie. He's like, Craig, is there anything you would like to tell me? And he's just and I was like, I don't want to talk about it because I was so emotional. I couldn't talk about it for years because, you know, it was a traumatizing day. Like, you think you're going to prison for a couple of years. That'll really...
Does your audience know what happened?
Yeah, it's pretty much my most famous bit I got, or story, or whatever the fuck it is. True story bit. And yeah, that shit'll change you. And if it doesn't, you got to figure that out because you're facing a few years in jail and that don't change you.
What happened to you in jail? Anything?
I get bailed out. My mama loves me.
Oh.
Yeah. But I had 4 charges and I had to get a lawyer. But had I not gotten a lawyer and not been represented properly, I could have, I don't know, maybe gotten a year or 2. But LA County's so overpopulated, I would have just done like 10%. I would have done a couple months.
Right. They would have
Good
let
thing
you
there's
out.
a lot of murderers. You get the hippie out if I don't get murdered first.
I once had this job for an electronics recycling company that hired exclusively ex-convicts. And they also hired me because my friend ran the place.
Fantastic.
So I would drive around all day picking up like old computers with these ex-criminals who were like, their faces were covered in tattoos like horns and 666 and teardrops, and they were super nice, but I would just ask them so many questions. I was like, hey, how would I do in jail? And they were just like, oh, dude, like you'd be a bitch in jail.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I might get away with running with the Aryans.
I
You
can't.
too, but you're Muslim. So
No,
you
that's the
can't-
thing.
You're dead.
Well, I
You're
can't.
dead,
I know
bro.
there's groups in jail, and like, I can't really hang with the Muslims probably because they'd be like, you're white. They're probably Nation of Islam, maybe. I don't know. I'm generalizing, but then there's no Jew group.
You're
is there?
generalizing, but it's pretty safe to say in prison, all the Muslims are black dudes, Nation of Islam.
I don't want to say that on record.
I mean, I got a lot of cousins in prison. I'd be sure they'd agree with me. This is the controversial podcast. Maybe we will edit this stuff out.
Really?
I do want to be on TV.
I do too, but again,
I mean, it's
and
fucking
again.
prison. We're not saying in real life. Jesus.
Anyway,
How did we get talking about this?
well, because these guys would be like, yeah, you wouldn't be accepted by the Muslims. You wouldn't be accepted by the Jews. I don't know how many Jews are in jail. Probably a few for bank fraud or something. And
He
then
said it, not me. I'm just sitting back on this one. If they are, they're in like the luxury fucking 5-star hotel jail for $300.
Jew jail?
$300 million embezzling, you know?
yeah, and they just get served cold brew all day,
Yeah.
and
Where's my cold brew guard? This isn't kosher. He got a new bit. I can't do that one. Not Jewish. I guess I am, though. I'm a small percentage.
what percent?
I don't even remember. My uncle told me, but he took the DNA swab test. I'm a cathartic Jew.
Cathartic.
Sephardic Jew.
Cathartic.
I'm the brown Jew, baby. I guess very small percentage. I don't know.
I think I'm
We're all-
Ashkenazi.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good kind. Just because I like to say Ashkenazi, it's got a pop to it. You know, it's fun.
Also has the word Nazi in it, which is kind of
Oh
weird.
yeah, you're the bad Jew then.
No, I mean, it's just an ironic twist.
I know it really is. This world.
Well, I'm good. Should we end it?
We got derailed there. We got real derailed. Oh, you said something about antidepressants, and this is a bit I've tried on stage, and I can't really figure it out, but it kind of works. But then I did it again today, and it's so true. And you know what I'm talking about, Chris Lunn, is cold showers help with energy. Go ahead, lay it down. What the fuck they help us for?
Immunity, energy levels,
Ooh.
mood. It's good for depression. Like, I think it's like a minute. If you do a minute of cold shower.
Just pure cold, no heat.
Yeah, you got to shut all the heat off. And I don't even know if in LA
What
we
else
get
are they
cold
good
enough
for? Do
water.
you know?
I
do.
Keep going.
And to achieve a baby dick. If you want a baby dick,
That's true.
you want a
That one.
fucking nubhead. Take a cold shower, you dickless son of a bitch.
That's
Or
a
an ice
great
bath.
way to start your day is seeing your dick in its smallest form.
That's small. How did that happen? Normally we're
How
all right.
old
down
am I?
there.
What's
What
happening?
happened? I'm 12 again. God damn it.
I like at the Korean spa. There's a cold tub, and it's
Yeah.
freezing. And there's a hot tub and a cold tub, and you go between the two.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get into the cold tub. Like I have to go in like toes at a time, and then just get in there. Some dudes just
I
jump in.
I jump.
You do that?
I have to jump in.
It's
and
so cold.
It is. I don't do it because it's so uncomfortable. But every time I start to get on a roll and do it, it is extremely beneficial for mood and energy.
Yeah.
I am not as depressed, and I have way more energy and like sustainable energy. Not like that, even though I love that and I love to get tweaked up.
Yeah.
Cold showers, they fucking help me, but I hardly ever do them because it's painfully uncomfortable. And that's the bit I try to do, and it's true. It happens every single time. I start fucking hooting and hollering like a 4-year-old, like
Yeah.
yippee! Like I can't stop. Like I'm literally because it's
You just
freezing.
have to make
And
sounds.
You're just like this, and you're twitching, and you're just fucking chicken clucking and slapping your just any raw primordial shit. Will like little kid shit comes out of you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm literally going, but it's not fake. It's not like it just comes out of you. And I try to reenact that on stage, and it kind of works. And as I say, it's kind of hard to be depressed when you're going, and it's never like murdered. So I kind of stop, but I'll figure it out. But I did it again today. I took a cold shower because I was just down and tired. And sure enough, I start screaming like a fucking 4-year-old eating cotton candy at Disneyland. And then I'm laughing at myself just because I'm not, this isn't contrived. This is organically just oozing out of me going, just, like literally and then I thought like, what are my neighbors thinking right now?
Yeah.
When they hear me in the shower going just fucking, but laughing like a toddler, like not an adult. Like that's not how I laugh. I laugh on Insta story like that as a joke, like hee hee. But that is real in there. That in that cold shower, that is real and it's different and it's all sorts of fucking octaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. And it's fucking funny, man. I gotta figure that one out because it's true and it's real.
My shower, like I can hear all the other showers because the shower, there's like a big vent that runs up and down the windows that lead out of the showers of the bathrooms.
Yeah.
So I can hear everyone in my building shower. And sometimes it's like I can hear people singing in the shower and that's nice. I've heard some crying. It's like the full spectrum of human emotions just like in the shower because we don't have our phones in the shower, so I feel like we're so raw. And like especially if you're used, I mean, I should start cold showering so people can hear it, so people
Dude,
can like
you need it. It's good for your health and it's fucking hilarious.
And then do you go hot at the end of it?
No, that's
just
the
hop
thing.
out.
Usually I do you do cold shower the whole goddamn time?
No, just the last like minute, 2 minutes.
That's
Oh,
what
the
I
last
do.
minute.
Usually I take a nice warm comfortable shower and then to gear up for it, I used to just shut off the hot and blast the cold. To get used to it, I just turn on the cold, so then it becomes like it's still cold because of the difference, but it's mild. And then I do that for whatever 30 seconds, and then I just go, and then it's just like because it takes a second, and I always do it right on my head, so it's just, and then it hits, and I just go, it's just fucking. It's nice, man. It's just little tricks you got to do to stay sober, you know.
Making noises when you don't mean to make them it's always a weird sensation. You know what I mean? When your body just makes a noise.
Yeah.
It's like,
You're like,
when
whoa.
you come and when you take a cold shower.
Oh, it's going to be one of those podcasts, huh? Callback. It's a callback. He's a cum dumpster. He's a cum face. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm a weird guy. It's okay, man. He's mad at me.
I'm not mad.
Whose knee did I slap the other day? I don't even remember.
Joe Rogan.
No, not slapping his knee. It'll go, I don't know. I slapped somebody's knee just like that, but like I was like, why did I slap your knee? Like we were just having a conversation.
That was Chappelle.
Oh, Chappelle. That's right. It was the last podcast. That's why it came back to me.
I saw Chappelle last night. Did you see him?
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh,
have-
you're talking about Chappelle Lacey.
I wish Dave Chappelle was on my podcast. It would probably be my highest viewed podcast.
Maybe.
Probably.
Most likely.
Hopefully.
100%.
He's
How
so
was-
cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he was wearing like a full camo.
He always does.
It's
With
so
his- He's the only comic that could wear like his name on him.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
But if anybody else did that, it would be bad. But for him, it's like, I want that jacket. Why is that? It's so weird. He just has that quality about him.
Have you met him?
I mean, briefly shook his hand in the green room and brought him up. But
I saw him. I went to some party that was like after a show that it was like his party. He had rented out a bar, and I was there, and I felt so awkward because I love him so much, and I like didn't know if I should say hi because it was like his
he's
party.
the nicest, most approachable guy ever.
Yeah, he really is. So when I was leaving, I said hi, and he saw these beads that I'm wearing, and he goes, he's like, "Hey man, you rocking them zikr beads?"
Oh, that's what they call it?
That's what this is, and it's like a Muslim meditation thing called zikr, and like for him to know that, that's a very specific thing.
Yeah.
Like not all Muslims do zikr.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and I kind of briefly said like, yeah, I was raised Muslim, etc. And he was just like, I was like, do you do zikr? And he was like, nah, I'm just doing alcohol these days.
Yeah.
I was like,
is
oh,
true.
you
I'm
are
a little
the-
worried about the brilliant man. He gets hammered.
Yeah.
He likes to party, but he's the only guy where you're worried about him walking but not performing. You know, you're like, how do you do that? The
Dude,
guy's-
one time he did there was a show in Echo Park that he was headlining, and I was hanging out in the back, and he pulled up and was like fucking wasted, and walked out. He came out of his SUV like holding 2 Bluetooth speakers that were just like blasting rap music, and he was just like black. And I was sitting next to Jamar, and we were both like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be a shit show." And he was like, as soon as he got on stage, he like put his foot on the speaker that was on the edge of the stage and was just instantly the most composed, professional, intelligent person
I don't understand.
I have ever seen.
I've seen that too, where he's drinking a cup of hard alcohol, smoking weed and hash or both, and just killing it, inventing comedy on the spot.
Yes.
Not even doing material, and you're just like, I can't even do that in my most perfect, comfortable, confident element, and this guy is doing it in the harshest circumstances possible.
But he's like so smart, and he's not on social media. Like he doesn't,
Yeah.
his time, I imagine, is spent learning
Oh, absolutely.
quite a bit of the time.
Yeah. He's just
He's just not caught
just
up.
an observer. He just is just like,
He's successful enough that he doesn't have to like worry about social media like the way we do, and like use it to, I mean, we're all thinking about social media and like how many followers we have. And
yeah, well, because for us at our level, it equates in financial freedom.
it does, but there's
there's
people
different
who,
routes.
Yeah.
But right now, for us, that is the quickest, easiest route, because there's no guarantee if Hollywood's going to pick you.
yeah.
Or you're going to get that lucky break or credit or viral video or whatever. There's no, so like with the internet, we can just do it on our own.
Yeah.
And we can also do it with no internet, but it's, with this day and age, it's 1,000,000 times harder.
Yeah.
Like you need to be extremely talented and get extremely lucky. This doesn't just rely on talent anymore.
Yeah, but
It's
some
like-
people just get extremely lucky. and
Yeah,
then
it
they
is.
don't.
It's all the thing. There's no right or wrong answer. You can get lucky, and not talented. You could get lucky and be extremely talented. You could be extremely talented and fucking have a studio apartment with no kitchen and a 14-year-old Camry. What are you gonna do?
And a globe.
I love that thing.
That makes you look smart.
It's cool. It's really cool. It has
If I came over here, I'd be like, this guy knows about the world.
It has USSR. It's old school. It's like before shit broke up. I forgot what year it was made. 70s.
Shout out to Central America.
Oh wait, I wanted to tell the story. So when I was kicking it with Dave Chappelle in the green room at the Comedy Store, in the main room, green room, and I'm, despite being on social media a lot, I'm also a little bit ignorant to a lot of shit. I'm kind of just old school.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking cement thumbs over here, and I don't pay too much attention. So I didn't know who Post Malone was, and it's me, Dave Chappelle, Post Malone, and John Mayer in the green room. I know who Dave and John are, but the Post was the nicest guy ever, and he has tattoos on his face, and he's wearing like nice clothes and nice jewelry, and I was like, you look like you're just fresh out of prison, but your outfit's too nice. I know you're somebody. I don't know who you are, but you're fucking somebody, dude. And he was the nicest guy ever, and he was just like a kid, just happy to be there and running around. It was just, and then so they're all smoking hash. I'm hosting, and then Dave is Judd Apatow is next, and then Dave Chappelle, and Dave goes to Judd like, hey, you want to go next or me? Because Dave was just popping in, surprise guest dropping. And then he says to the Judd, do you want to go next, Judd, or should I? And
Yeah.
Judd goes, no, I'll go next.
Smart move.
It was so funny. And I'm just laughing. And then I bring Judd Apatow up. He's supposed to do 20, but Judd is such a humble, awesome dude. He knows. He does like 12. And I just like, because I'm expecting him to do 20 and I'm hosting. So I was caught off guard and I abruptly run to the stage because I didn't expect that. But Judd just did what he was working on and got the fuck off. He's like, I don't need to do extra time. Let's skip these people, Dave Chappelle. So in that time that Judd was on stage, John Mayer, Post Malone, Dave Chappelle, me, and they're smoking. My buddy Brian Monarch's there too. It's his show. And they're smoking hash. And I go, am I about to hit hash and relapse, even though it's not relapse, because it's not fucking heroin. and smoke hash with Dave Chappelle, and I was just like, and this mental war, like, and
Right.
debating like what to do, and then finally I was like, if he passes that to you, you're going to hit it.
You have to.
I have to hit it. It doesn't matter. It's like this isn't gonna, that's not gonna happen again, or actually maybe it will, and then thank God they did not pass it to me, because I haven't smoked weed in over 5 years.
Okay.
Had I had hit hash while hosting a sold-out show at the world famous Comedy Store, are you fucking kidding me? It would have been like LSD. I'd have been like, why am I up here? What is this? Why is my voice so loud?
Oh, there's a lot of people here.
And like, did I just say that out loud?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been so bad. And then Judd gets off, I run out, and then they're just in the green room having a fucking ball, And I just did a little fucking spiel like, ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons the Comedy Store is the best club in the world is because you get special guests drop in. And tonight we got one. Are you guys ready? And they're like, yeah. And I go, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Chappelle. Instant standing ovation. Instant. Just, ah! And I'm just smiling just like this. And then like, a few seconds go by, and it's getting awkward, and they're like, did this motherfucker just prank us? People start to sit down, and then I'm just looking over my shoulder like, oh fuck. And then finally, what was like 12 seconds but felt like 14 hours in eternal hell, and he came out, and then it was another standing ovation. It was long enough for people to get quiet, weird, mad, sit back down, and then stand back up. And I was just like, oh, thank God. Like, I didn't know. Like, it was hilarious. And he actually did that again in the OR to Dylan Sullivan. Dylan brought him up. And then Dylan, right? He's like, oh, he's like, no, it's not a joke, guys. He's just this big, lovable guy. And he's got a really high-pitched voice. And he's like, no, he's here. And he didn't know what to do. And then he brought up, Dave Chappelle was so late for Dylan. He goes, Steven, you want to go off? And he brought up Steven Randolph instead of Dave Chappelle. Whoa. And Steven gets up. He's like, oh, what the fuck? It's like,
That's
I can't
a tough spot.
do this now. He's like, this is the worst setup in comedy history. And then he salvaged the situation. It was really funny. And then Dave walks in the room and he goes, oh, sorry, bring me up, and just interrupts Steven's set. But it's potluck, open mic, 3 minutes anyways, didn't matter. And it was hilarious. And then Steven brought up Dave Chappelle and not Dylan. He's like, oh, man.
That's
so
hilarious.
if you're listening, Dylan, you're a fucking loser, huh?
Damn. Do you ever feel intimidated by being on shows with these people?
No, I actually don't. I love it. And I love following them, except for maybe Dave Chappelle, because his fame is his fame is just too much.
I feel like, in a dog park where there's like one section for the big dogs and then one for the small dogs.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in the small dog park as like younger comics.
But we got big dog comedy.
Yeah. But as far as who we are, we're not the big dogs.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I completely agree.
And then sometimes these shows, it's like you're a little dog bringing up the big dogs, and it's like a communal thing. And it's like, I don't know. It's just a different. It's crazy to be in LA and to be on shows and in rooms with these people who, when you first start comedy, in Philadelphia where I started, like I never thought I would ever meet these people.
No, yeah, it's really weird. It is a weird thing.
And I'm not on shows with them all the time or anything, but like just to be around them and say hi to them. And I mean, I sound kind of lame because I don't like think of celebrities as like these gods or anything like that, especially since I've been out here and met so many celebrities. But, still part of you is that kid inside where you're like, Chappelle show.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's nuts, and it's really weird to somebody you watched on TV as a kid.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting next to him in the green room and be like, how would you like me to bring you up, David Spade? Oh, I watched you in Black Sheep
Yeah, Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt,
Joe Dirt was huge in my
fucking
house.
Tommy Boy. I mean,
Yeah.
with little, like 9 years old, I'm watching you, and of course, Black Sheep and Tommy Boy, I've watched 20, 30 times each.
When I first came to LA, I got an internship on Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
And suddenly I was out in Palm Springs. I was an unpaid intern. I would work 16 hours a day for nothing. But I was like the happiest person in the world. I was 21. I was just like cleaning, like working with every department possible, like camera department, art department.
Yeah.
Like I was just in love. And then there was, Will Ferrell was there, John C. Reilly,
Yeah.
and Will Forte. Will Forte was the funniest person ever when I met him. When he was on set, it was literally, I got to be on set, and it was this closed set, and it was a very small storefront, and everyone was literally just covering their faces or like doing this, or like it was so funny that we all had to like look at the ground and pretend we weren't there to not fuck up the sound.
Yeah.
And there were just moments like that. And then I met Will Ferrell, and I was like, you're a genius. And he was just like, no, I'm not.
He's like, I'm a dum-dum.
Yeah. He's like, I mean, that's how it is, I think, when you're a comedian and you get famous and you're like, why do people think I'm fucking
we
God?
don't feel like we are, but we kind of are. That sounds so, but like that we're genius. Like I was just telling him, I can't fill out a form for the DMV. I cannot. I can, but you know what I mean? Like that clerical work is impossible to me. But to make people laugh, they look at us.
Yeah.
And like that's impossible.
Yeah.
So we're geniuses in laughter or whatever. Maybe not everyday life, but in a certain niche area. Because so that's why we think that, or people may think that, like, oh my God, you're brilliant, and it's like, I stocked bananas 3 months ago. Like, what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? But they don't know how to make people laugh with just your thoughts in the microphone.
When you were a kid, were you funny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, I was always funny.
I was the funniest when I was a kid. I don't think I'll ever get back to it.
I was weird. Yeah.
I used to do pranks a lot. Do you ever get into pranks?
I mean, yeah. Yeah. When I was a little kid, my uncle had this guy over that had a motorcycle, and he had all these pockets on his motorcycle, and we fucking put snails in it. I pissed on it. I put potatoes in the muffler.
That's not a prank. That's abuse.
I was 8.
That's
I didn't
domestic
know,
abuse,
I didn't
dude.
know any better. We just laughed and laughed.
I used to do this prank where I would piss on this homeless guy. It was
That was an accident.
That's hilarious. I did.
That's a bad prank. I was a little kid.
Me and my friend stayed up all night. We found this real estate magazine, and we would call all the most expensive condos in Philadelphia and leave messages for the realtors and say, "Hi, my name is Adam Graneri. I'm like very wealthy. I've recently come into a lot of money, and I would love to purchase this condo tomorrow. Like, please call me back as soon as you wake up."
That's fucked up. That's wrong.
So then the next day, listen, the next day we go to my friend Noah's house, and we're hanging out there all day, and the phone keeps ringing. And it's all these realtors calling and asking for Adam Graneri, which was Noah's younger brother. I think he was like 8 years old at the time. And Noah didn't know that we did it. So every time the phone rang, me and my friend who did the prank, we would just die laughing, knowing that it was another realtor. And like you could hear Noah's mom just being like, "It's another call for Adam?" It was so funny.
That's a pretty good one.
I used to do dickhead shit too. Like I once I got a tub of popcorn at the movies, and I got a free refill, and then on the way out I like dumped it into a convertible in the parking lot.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, rewind. I was zoned out looking at a plan. What'd you say? What'd you dump in a car?
I got a tub of popcorn at the movies, and
Okay.
then I got a free refill on my way out.
And you dump. Oh,
I
that's
dumped
fucked
it in.
up.
Yeah,
That's pretty
like an
bad.
asshole. I had one more prank story.
I did too. The convertible made me so. I was at Albertsons. Don't forget yours. I have to go first because I'll forget mine. Okay. I was at Albertson's grocery store with my sister and my buddies, and we're in high school, and this convertible pulls up, and he goes in the store, and he had a bunch of bags of Chinese food, and I just went in his car and I stole his Chinese food, and it was a lot. It was like $40-$50 worth. Me and my buddies were all drinking beers, eating this guy's fucking shrimp and lobster sauce, just laughing, having a real hoot. And in hindsight, like, that guy probably was bringing dinner home to his family.
Yeah.
And I stole his family's food. I feel awful.
Or maybe he
I
stole
was
it.
17. You're such an asshole. You don't know.
Maybe he stole it from another convertible, and it was just karma.
The odds of that are pretty bad.
Pretty slim.
Yeah. I have a feeling maybe he was taking it to his second family that his first family didn't know about. And I still was an asshole because it's stealing food from his children that don't know that he's a two-timer.
I used to, every Saturday, would walk from my mosque, where my friends and I would meet, to my friend Noah's house. Same guy. And on the way there, we'd walk through this private road, and there were really nice houses. And there was this one house that was always for sale. And I would call the realtor every time we passed it and leave a message pretending to be a character wanting to buy the house. And sometimes it was like fucked up. Like sometimes I would call and just be like, "What's up, bitch? I'm trying to buy this house. Like I've got $300,000 cash in my trunk, like next to a body." Like shit like that, where I was like being pretending to be like a gangster. And I did that for like a whole summer. And then, is this not good?
No, it's good. You're a monster. Yeah.
I was a terrible kid. I mean, I was on my way home from school. I used to take the train home from school, and my dad calls me and he goes, "Hey, you need to stay on the train, get off at this stop that was past our house." And I got off, and I had to meet my dad, go to the police station because the realtor had reported me. And so my dad and my dad was so disappointed in me. And we go to this police station, and they had transcripts of every prank call.
They're good.
And
How the fuck they do
he
that?
read them back to me. And it was all like fucked up, like, "Hi, I'm Morty Bondelbaum. Like, I'm a Jew. I want to buy the house because I'm Jewish." Just like a child's brain being so dumb and offensive. And the cop was like, "You know, boys will be boys. We're not going to charge him. We just want to, you know, say that you can't do this." And my dad was like, he didn't want to talk to me for like a little while.
Yeah, my dad would have argued with the cops, be like, "Fuck you."
Really?
Maybe, yeah.
My dad respected authority.
No, I remember I was a little kid, and me and my dad were riding bikes to the Moose Lodge, where he likes to gamble and drink and play pool. And then the cop pulled us over because the helmet law was recently enforced. I don't even know, this is 94 or whenever the fuck that was. I was little. And I remember the cop going, "Your son has to wear a helmet or I'm going to give him a ticket." And he was just like, "Fuck you, he's my son. And you don't tell me what to do with my son. If he doesn't want to wear a helmet, he didn't have to wear a helmet." I'm just like, what's happening? Like, and I don't know what happened. I don't remember. Well, he didn't go to jail. We rode off. But I just remember that, him going like just that old school, like, no. Like, I don't tell you what to do with your son. Now you shut the fuck up. This is my son. Like, you don't tell him to wear a helmet. I tell him to wear a helmet. But then I never wore a helmet because they're for nerds. Muslim.
I never wear a helmet either.
Yeah, because we're G's. I have a dent on my head from the concrete. I do. I really I fuck my head up. Wear a goddamn helmet. I have feel it right here. Feel that thing.
Oh yeah, it's about 3 centimeters deep.
Oh, it's from concrete. That's a concrete. I rocked my head for a few days. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to recover.
That's the price of being cool right there.
Yeah, man. Be safe.
You could eat cereal out of that thing, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty bad.
I used to go skateboarding in downtown Philly. And Philly was like the mecca of skateboarding when I was a kid. It was like to be a young skater, because there was Love Park, which was like this amazing skate park. But every time you would go there, the cops would come and chase everyone away. So I was a kid like running from the cops. and thought that was so cool.
So fun.
I thought
It
that
is
was so
fun.
Cool.
It is. There's an adrenaline. I mean, well, you're a little kid, but they drew the guns on me, and I was just like, it's a weird like.
And you ran?
It's like, oh, this is real. Well, they cornered me and drew them on me because I was running.
What were you doing?
Just running.
You're just jogging.
Just running, man. And yeah.
Being a skateboarder when you're a kid, you're exposed to like some adult shit. Like when I was like 13, 14, because there's characters at skate parks.
Yeah.
Like offering you drugs and stuff.
I was very bad at skateboarding. I didn't get that too much. I broke my leg on a quarter pipe and then just kind of quit. My career lasted 2 years. I could ollie 50-50 grind.
It's pretty good.
That's it.
I was offered weed at a skate park when I was 13. And it was like this fat white dude.
Did you take it?
Well, my dad was there, so I mean, I probably wouldn't have anyway.
Yeah.
But I was real nervous about doing drugs, and he offered it to me, and he was like, "Wait, how old are you?" And I was like 13. He like took it back. He's like, "Wait till you're 14." That was his fatherly
I like
advice.
that guy. That's a good guy.
Yeah, wait till you're 14.
Wait till you're 14. I smoked weed at 12 years old.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how it felt?
Yeah, good. Yeah, real good. I remember I stabbed my buddy in the forearm. Not out of, I should have set it up better than that and not opened up with that. But because I just sound like a murderer. No, I was cutting oranges for us, and we were just laughing and having a good time. And I'm cutting oranges, and we're just snacking and laughing. My buddy Dane, and then he goes to scare me as I'm cutting it. And I go and I just fucking jabbed him in his forearm, and it didn't like. But it stuck. It stuck. You know, maybe winning that much.
That was the first time you were high? You stabbed your friend?
First time I was high, I stabbed my friend. It just went in maybe a quarter inch. And he's like, "Oh, you stabbed me." I was like, "What are you scaring me for? I'm high. I got a knife."
It's like one of those weed, like anti-weed commercials that's like so unrealistic.
Yeah.
But it actually happened.
It actually happened.
Don't smoke weed or you're going to stab your friend.
That's a good friend. That same friend. Did I tell this story where I almost shot his head off with a
Yeah.
.357 Magnum? That's the same guy.
Damn, every time I think I'm telling a cool story, you're like, and then I stabbed my friend and shot him in the head.
I'm like, I used to do prank calls, and I used to pretend to be a gangster.
You need to step it up, Ahamed.
You're like, I skipped work because I was in jail. God, I'm such
sorry.
a loser.
Sorry, I lived a fruitful life. I know how to live, buddy. No, I don't know how to live. And hopefully you're listening and you'll be like, I don't need to do all that. I can just stay at home and live a clean life. Sometimes,
We all need something.
yeah.
Nobody, I think, is pure. Like you have to. There's darkness inside of us. So
All
like,
of us.
that's why priests are all fucked up. Because you put someone in that situation where it's like you can't have sex, you can't do anything, and it's just gonna screw up your whole
You
brain.
can't suppress primordial urges.
That was pretty good.
That was right. I said
that
that
was
right.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you see the thought process?
But then you looked up shyly for approval. You're like,
Yeah.
was that okay?
I'll start a word and not know how it's going to go, and it'll be like, I think this is the right word. And you can hear it like as I say it. And I just go, was that right?
And then you stab me in the arm.
Yeah. I love knives.
Yeah.
I wrote down little notes today,
Okay.
even though we didn't need any, and I already hit.
Was this a good one?
This is a good one.
Okay.
I like you. And, but
I'm so nervous on podcasts because it's like, I hope it's good.
it's good. Yeah. And then earlier today, I drank my coffee and I get a little tweaky, a little happy, and I'm just kind of roaming around. And then I said to myself, like I muttered, fart ass. No one's here. I'm by myself. No music, nothing. Just me. Just fucking tweaked up off cold brew. And I say fart ass. And then I go fart ass. And I go, you know what? Fart ass is my favorite word. And then that all happened. And then I just started laughing at myself. It's like, that's what's in my brain.
Fart ass.
Like that's what is going when there's nothing. It's just peace. I just go, fart ass is my favorite word. And then I text that to some comic buddies of mine, and they all ha-ha'd the text because they knew it was true. Like they knew I would not have said that. I just think
I just picture you meditating, and that's your mantra. It's like fart ass.
Fart ass is my favorite word.
Fart ass.
And yeah, it's just fucking.
Do you ever get into meditation?
No, I really, really need to. I've tried a couple times. Usually, I just doze off, and I'm like, "Damn it!" And just like, I just want to go to bed. But I really, really want to, and I heard great things about transcendental meditation.
Yeah, but that's expensive. It costs like $900
to get your mantra.
Yeah,
It's bullshit. Hey, Howard Stern, how about you treat some fucking comics to transcendental meditation? I singled you out because you're a big believer and practitioner in it, and I first heard of it from you, Howard. So if you can, treat a couple young comics that are...
Jerry Seinfeld too.
Him too.
Yeah.
You're pretty rich. How about you start a transcendental meditation for depressed comics, because you know how it was.
I don't think he does. I don't think he ever had it that bad.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I mean, maybe I'm speaking from arrogance, but he had so much success that when I think of young Jerry, I'm like, you're good.
Yeah. I think even unsuccessful Jerry was still had more money than successful.
Dude, Holtzman, if you heard his Seinfeld bit.
Oh, yeah, that's what... Yeah, I was sitting
Who
next
are
to
these
you.
people? Who are these people? I don't know, Jerry. I live with my parents.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends, Jerry.
Yeah, it was off. So I sat next to you
Friday.
the first time you ever saw Holtzman, right?
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
We could talk about this. It's going to get sad. I actually put the tissues out because I thought we might cry on here. On Friday, we lost Brody Stevens. And we were at the Comedy Store together the night that he passed. And and everybody was doing like a tribute and an homage to him. And Brian Holtzman kept giving him shout outs. And he kept doing his catchphrase, enjoy it. But he did a horrible Holtzman.
He kept saying it wrong.
Yeah, he said it wrong. And he's like,
You're like,
just do it.
Just do it.
And somebody was like, that's Nike, not Brody. And he's just an old school, like he like truly doesn't even know how to operate an iPhone, old school, you know.
Yeah.
He used to run with Sam Kinison and those dudes. He's just OG.
I was wondering what his story is because there's no info about him
no,
online.
he has no, I don't think he has an Instagram. But he's OG. He closes out the main room. Him and Brody they're the closers, and Don Barris. To close out the Comedy Store that late at night and do what you need to do to entertain people is a very weird thing, and very few people can do it. And those guys, that's all that they do. And Holtzman gets the spotlight, and he's insane. And he... So is the main room, and he goes on at a time where the main room's pretty packed, but then he's insane, and the show's been going on for 3 hours, and he does an hour, so it kind of clears out by the end of it. But in the beginning, he does a tribute to Brody Stevens, rest in peace, and he brings the room down. He goes, "We lost a dear friend and a fellow comedian," and he's like, "I just want to take a moment of silence for Brody Stevens," and everybody gets quiet. You can hear a fucking pin drop. Even the servers stop doing their shit. You know, it's just quiet. And then he puts his cell phone up to the microphone, and he plays that one military song.
Taps.
And there's always comics watching Holtzman. He's
Yeah.
a comics comic, and there's like 20 comics just howling, and the audience is like, oh my god, like, ooh, you're a monster. And little do they know it's his friend. And that's what Brody was too. He's a comics comic. He's the guy that you go, oh, let's watch him, because he's just a nutter.
Or if you knew he was going to be on a show you were on, you were like, oh, I have to watch. There's very few comics where I'm like, usually I'm in a green room, I just want to be in my space getting ready.
Yeah.
But
Some
if
comics
Brody-
even go up and you leave the room. You're just like, I cannot. But Brody is the guy you
have to watch.
You go in the room. You're like, oh, what's this weirdo going to do tonight? Because you never knew with him. And he was just insane. I was hosting Brea Improv, and he was headlining. And he's just crazy. And he just would be like, there's too many people in here. You know, like he wanted a shitty environment. When the show's at 3 hours long and there's 12 people left out of 200 to start, that's when he thrived. That's what he wanted, it seemed like, because then it would be sold out and in the middle, and he's like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go on later. And that no one ever thought that. 99% of comics saw the shitty latter end that he loved and be like, and would dread that and not want that and be like, maybe I won't go up.
Yeah.
And he was like, sold out. Like, I don't want that. You know, he's the cold open king, you know?
Yeah, he would thrive in these like mostly empty rooms where he could just totally be himself. Maybe there was just less pressure, you know, because maybe when the room's full, it's earlier. It's like there's all this pressure to like kill.
Yeah.
And he's not like that. Like he just wants to be himself, and that's what's so inspirational about him.
Yeah. And he would kill. He would do better in worse circumstances. Like if it was sold out, he might bomb, but if it was horrible circumstances, he would kill. And you're just like, what the fuck are you? You got it backwards,
because
sir.
he would just revive energy. Like anytime there was bad energy, he would just
he would just clap and be like, I don't like your energy. Arms crossed.
Arms crossed.
You're
negative.
pleasant. Where are you from? Reseda, me too. Like he's just he'd always say 818 till I die. 818, and it's just so funny.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Greg Fitzsimmons, but everybody's paying tribute and paying homage and it's just speaking words about him. And I think it was Greg Fitzsimmons, not sure, but they said the best. Maybe it was Doug Stanhope. I think it was some OG that I fucking love. But he said the greatest thing I've ever seen was Brody Stevens performing 818 Valley specific material in Scotland at the Fringe Festival. And that's the kind of guy he was. Like he's on the other side of the planet and he's still going, I'm from the Valley, bitches. Like, you know, like he was just that guy. And
he repped the Valley so hard.
Yes, so hard.
It was amazing.
Being the Cubs dugout, cheering. He was a baseball fan, and he was such a warm, pleasant being that even the Chicago Cubs like would let him sit in the dugout. You know, it's crazy. And and he probably, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I just imagined him yelling out 818. You know, like to the fucking, because that's the kind of guy.
They don't even know what that means.
And they
don't know that's an area code.
What is that? A new beer? Like I don't know. Fucking. He's just a crazy fuck, you know?
Yeah, I would see him like once or twice a week usually.
Yeah.
And so it's still surreal because it's like I still haven't seen him. Like the time since I last saw Brody is still normal in my head. So like in my head, it's kind of it's hard to believe that he's gone because I haven't seen him for like a week or something like that. But now that, and then like as time goes on, I think it'll start to really settle in more. And it's not easy. Every day I feel like it's gonna get easier, and it just doesn't. It just becomes like harder.
Yeah, it goes in waves. It's really weird. It hit me so much harder than I thought it was going to hit me.
Yeah.
You know, because I wasn't like super close. I was close to them and knew him and worked with him, but I wasn't like I didn't call him daily. I didn't know him like that, and it still hit me like a ton of bricks. And then when I found out, I was crying like little kid crying, like you know, and it was just weird. I was analyzing because I was like, I don't even think I cried that hard when my grandmother died, and it was just an odd thing for this man to affect me like that.
Yeah.
And this is a funny story. I'm gonna try to spit out here. I'm about to cry. God damn it. And so I was crying like that, and like bad, like, and just fuck. I went through 2 boxes of tissues. Like it's unreal. I didn't even go through that while masturbating with face lotion on ecstasy. You know, call back, and then I'm just crying right fucking here. Just tissues everywhere. Just throwing them on the couch. Sorry, you're sitting in it, but
I thought it was wet.
And then I get a call from a headliner, and this is how our brains are. It's like, as I'm crying, just And I go, oh, headliner, it might be work. I better get this, you know. And I answer it. It's my buddy that gives me work, and he goes, and I thought I just worked with him. I was like, oh, more work. And then he goes, what happened to Brody? And then I'm just like, and just crying. Can't even talk. I'm like, he hung in cell, you know. And then my buddy was like, oh shit, didn't know. Like, basically, why'd you answer? He's like, I'm going to let you deal with that. I'll talk to you later, bud. And he hung up. And the whole conversation lasted about 3 seconds. But it pulled me out, and it made me laugh so hard because, like, he wasn't like that. Imagine calling your buddy, like, hey, what's up, Craig? And I'm like, like, oh, shit. I'm just trying to get lunch, dude, you know, like this. And it pulled me out and made me laugh. And a horrible situation.
Yeah.
So it kind of saved me in that moment. Would seem like, yeah. But then we were there that night, and it was a special night to be at the Comedy Store. It was weird, surreal, horrible, awesome, incredible. All of the things.
Every single door person, everyone who works there was wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, enjoy it. Brody Stevens, everybody's crying, laughing.
It was like there was a new uniform. That's how much it affected everyone.
Yeah.
It was like
everyone's
I felt weird, like almost when I first got to the store, I was like, maybe this place should be closed right now. Because I walked in and I felt like audiences didn't know
what to do.
Well, comics, like I saw a lot of comics crying on stage and off.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's as the night went on, it was just more of an Irish wake than anything. It was just people getting wasted, like laughing and crying and hugging each other. And I've never been, all these comedians who have killed themselves, I've never been this close to one, you know?
No, this is the first one that it has truly affected me. Yeah. I cried when Robin Williams died, but not like this.
Yeah,
I didn't light. I just was a fan of his. I never met him or worked with him.
Yeah,
or knew him personally.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. But like the energy at the end of the night around like 2:30 when Don Barris was doing the Brody Stevens band.
Yeah.
And they were just singing.
That was really
so
cool.
loud, and it was just like such an incredible moment, it felt. And I saw Don cry, which I've never seen before. And you know, when you see these people who are in your life so strong break down, it's very affecting. I remember like Jon Stewart after 9/11 cried on The Daily Show, and I was like, wow. It's so it's so powerful.
And then we went to Swingers, a ragtag bunch.
Yep.
It was me, you, who was there? Earl Skakel.
Maurice. Annie Letterman.
Joe Maurice, Andy Letterman. Luke Schwartz was there, right?
Yeah.
Matt
Jeff
Daddy
Berner.
Lockwood, Jeff Berner. It was a ragtag hopscotch bunch. It was fun. And everybody was, Annie was really funny and like cheating on her diet, like ordering nachos. She's like, oh, Brody died, you know, like that was the running joke. I was crying for 2 fucking days straight, and I had to get out of my house, and I went with my buddy Mark Hayes. He was returning the t-shirt to All Saints, and I bought this jacket. I was like, oh, Brody died, like let me spend money I don't have on shit I don't need. Brody died, you know. And
you have to just take care of yourself. Do anything you can to be okay. It's also, it sucks because it puts suicide in the minds of everyone. Yeah. And there's so many people in comedy who are kind of on the edge. Yeah.
For sure. It's an unknown thing. An uncertainty. You don't know. You could be talented and not achieve great success. That's the crazy thing about this business. You could be brilliant. There's people that I look up to, and I have more followers than, and I'm like, fuck. Like, I almost feel guilty about it.
Like me?
No, not you.
Oh. I thought that's where you were going.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You said someone I look up to.
Think because you have smart jokes, we're not equal in comedy?
No, you're better than me.
No, I'm not.
See, now I turned the tables.
Damn it. No, you're You're great.
You're
He's
great.
brilliant. I just really wanted to make it weird. I've been watching Zach Galifianakis a lot lately, and Between Two Ferns, and I just kind of was inspired by him. I'm like, let's make it a little weird, even though.
Just say the worst thing possible.
No, yeah, and he's painfully funny and very talented, and there's a reason he's been on TV 9 times and has no following. No,
It doesn't mean anything.
I know none of it. Like,
I hate when comics are like, well, I deserve this because I've been on TV a bunch. Like, that's not, I think, the way it should work.
it's just a crazy business. It's a crazy business.
It used to be like that. It used to be you go
Yeah.
on Letterman, and then your career's
and then you
happening.
hit the road, and then you sell out, and you make money, and you make a living. And you
But
get a
comedians are
sitcom.
better now because things aren't like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It used
What
to be
were we
easier.
talking about prior? I felt like we're on the same rail station, but I felt like I got derailed. What were
We were talking about Brody, and then
No. Credits? I don't remember.
credits.
Ah.
My favorite credit when people bring me up, they go, "This guy is trying really hard, so let's just give him everything we can."
You gotta try harder.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're very funny. I really.
Oh,
I
thanks,
first met
man.
you and seen your first joke on the OR because I knew of you, but I didn't know you. And then so what we do is we go up at Comedy Store Original Room, like when it's maybe 3 hours in. It's a very difficult time to go up, and you got 3 minutes, and so you see the weak crumble and you see the strong rise up. So that was my first impression of him, is going into a horrible situation and rising up and bringing the life back into the room, being Brody, doing and that's when I go up too, and it's nice to consistently go up in a horrible circumstance and kill, or do well. It feels I like it. It feels nice. It's an ego stroke, I know, but it feels good.
Getting up in the OR is an amazing feeling.
Yeah, just getting up, period. That's an accomplishment in itself.
I used to skip potluck because I'd be like, I can do 2 open mics instead of this.
Doesn't matter.
But now I go because I'm like, it's worth it to just kind of work up there and get used to that space. Because
Yeah.
that's eventually where I want to, perform.
Yeah, it's the best club in the world, so it's the place to be. I love you too, Laugh Factory. Thanks for the work. And Improv. Thanks for the $10 in the lab.
Laugh Factory gives you 80.
5.
Nice.
God bless all of the clubs that give me work. Thank you very much. I am truly appreciate it.
And the Ice House.
And the Ice House. Any club. Let's just say any club. Why we got to name them? I feel like I'm not going to get work anymore.
Flappers.
I hate you, flappers.
Haha Cafe.
Thank you for the work, Terry. And Jack. What else? We were on a good comedy talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think I got sad.
Yeah, I got sad too. We pulled out of it.
It says weed for internet.
Oh, yeah. So I've been trading weed with my neighbor for internet, and I just think that's funny because I don't smoke weed anymore, but I look like this and sound like this, so people give me weed stuff all day. I do love CBD, and I got some new CBDs from Liberty, but I like Care by Design better. I'm sorry, Liberty. Thank you, but these other fuckers give me CBD, and it's very nice. It just shuts off the diarrhea of thoughts that just fucking kill you. Anyways, I give my neighbor Brady weed for internet, and it's quite nice.
What's the rate?
Just whoever gives me weed, I give half to Chris Lund on the 1s and 2s back there producing this podcast, and half it depends how much I get. Sometimes I give my father some. I used to give my sister some, but she keeps getting pregnant, so can't be smoking that tweed on that belly,
Did your mom smoke when she was pregnant?
No, never. She's a square.
Oh,
She's never smoked weed in her life.
interesting.
I've seen her drunk twice in my life. She's just she's a normal lady. Just she'll have like a beer in summer when it's hot. I'm like, how'd you do that? I just want to get high.
Do you remember when you started smoking weed? I mean, we already talked about this, but like what it felt like because it was illegal.
Yeah,
It was
made
so
way
different.
cooler.
That's what I was like.
Cooler.
I think I got way more high because of fear. I think that was part of it. You know what I mean?
When you're high as a teen and you see a cop, you're like, they know. You know? Now it's legal. It doesn't matter.
Everyone knows when you're a kid.
Everyone knows.
When you're a kid, you're so dumb. You just reek.
Yeah.
You think you can, you think you can like put Axe on, and that your teachers won't notice, but you just smell like weed and Axe.
Yeah, you're so dumb. I remember thinking.
And then you
back
go to
on
class and you just-
hotboxing a blunt, like a grape swisher, the most strongest hotboxing, and then going to class, car to class. That's not a long enough walk to get rid of that smell, you know? Oh, it was so stupid.
I would always
Just take a test and fail.
I would immediately regret it. Like, as I would be like, oh, I can't wait to leave campus and smoke. And then just immediately, as soon as I started feeling high, I'm like, wait, we're going back?
Yeah.
That's the worst place you could ever be.
I don't know why I was always able to pull it off. I was a functioning motherfucker. I remember at Coachella, the first time I ever went, I took like 7 drugs, just a little bit of each, because I love Fear and Loathing and Hunter S. Thompson. I always like to go to Oblivion. And then running, me and my buddy, we're on 7 drugs. And then we run into these other group of friends that are not on 7 drugs, but I don't tell them. And we're drinking and talking and having a good time and functioning. And then I tell them like what I'm on, and they go, "Oh my God! Like what are you?"
You're like microdosing 7 different drugs.
I was more than microdosing, sir. But like, you know, like instead of a whole ecstasy pill, we took a half, and then we took Coke and a couple Oxycontins and then some weed and some alcohol and some mushrooms, but not like a half-eighth, maybe just like a gram. But like, we were taking a mild dose of everything, not microdosing, because microdosing doesn't really get you high. We were high. And I remember running and selling Coke to wait, I'm scared.
We should edit out half of this podcast.
That was a long time ago. I'm sober 5 years, and this was like fucking 12 years ago. And then I accidentally sold Coke to a cop because we were in the beer garden drinking, coked up, you know, and me and my buddy are doing it. And it's Coachella, so you could just kind of do it, you know? It's not like, anyways. So this guy sees us do it, this guy and this girl, and then I'm very kind and sharing. I go, yeah, here. And we're just sharing. They do it. We're drinking. And then he goes, you got any more? I go, yeah. And I wasn't like selling it. It's just like I was kind and was like, here. And then I just poured some out in his bag. He gave me some money. And then the girl starts laughing. And she goes, we're like, why are you laughing? She goes, he's a cop. And then he freaks out, and then I freak out because nobody, like, she's just fucked up and was laughing, and then we were like, I'm gonna go over here now. But he wanted that too. It wasn't like a bust. And then he went in his corner, I went in my corner. I was like, let's get out of here.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
I used to sell weed to a cop that would pull up in cop uniform patrol car to Trader Joe's and then to just give me a heart attack because I was on probation still, you know. I was just like, what the fuck? What's it? And he'd be like, get in, fucker. And I'd sell him shit. And it was
in the cop car?
In the cop car. I've gotten in the cop car to sell weed to a cop on duty. Unreal, man.
Wow.
It's legal now. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
That was like 9 years ago. Trader Joe's, maybe 10 years ago. This was my first year. Trader Joe's in Torrance, when we were required to park on the side, not the front lot. We got the side. And I swear on my life, there was a moment where I was on my 10-minute break and I looked down and there was like 4 or 5 cars all smoking, hotboxing, all Trader Joe's employees on breaks, not together. And it was just so funny. Like, one manager would sell me like a half pound of weed, and then and he would be like, "Don't tell nobody." And then I would sell like an ounce to another manager, and he'd be like, "Don't tell nobody." But I would always keep my mouth shut because I like money, you know. And it was just funny. Like, we're all in cahoots, but I'm the only one that is like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. You can tell whoever, I'll sell." You know what I mean? And I would always front people weed, because like I work with you. You can't escape me.
Right.
I would never front anybody ever unless you're my coworker, because payday comes, and payday was the best for me. So I'd get my check from Trader Joe's, and then I'd
all
get
the
my
weed money
of all the broke ass Trader Joe's employees. And then a couple of times it burned me where people got fired and they owe me $20-$40, whatever. Or like, they just lost their job. Like it's on the house, buddy. I'm not gonna, I'm not mafia. I'm not gonna chase you down.
I remember going to when I got my weed card, my medical one. It was like this funniest experience of my life because the doctor was a comic. There was a comic who was a weed doctor. His name was Andy Vandy. Not kidding.
His name is probably funnier than anything he's ever done on stage. Is that true? I do not know you, Andy Vandy. I'm sorry.
I don't remember his comedy. I just remember.
Which means my statement is true.
He would show up to Echoes Under Sunset with like 8 joints and just. It was during the open mic, and he would just
Vandy.
get everyone high.
What a nice guy.
And so
I love you, Andy Vandy, handing out free joints. Sorry.
We went to this it was a weed doctor place, and my friend went with me, and my friend texted him, and we skipped the line. We went into his office, which was a weed doctor's office. Is so funny.
Yeah, it's not.
The walls are painted bright green. There's a longboard hanging on the wall. Like his chair was just a yoga ball. I don't even think his computer worked. I think it was just like a prop. And all he did was ask for our birthdays.
Yeah.
He didn't even ask for my name. He was just like, "What's your birthday?"
That back then is just check grab. It's just cash. It's just $50 next. It was a joke.
It was a huge joke.
I
And
remember
weed
being
was way
so
cheaper
scared.
back then too.
Yeah. The black market weed sold illegally is on a rise because these clinics
Too expensive.
It's so expensive. It's ridiculous. It's like, why am I going to give you $60 for an eighth when I go to my buddy and it's $30? It's like for the same weed that he probably sold to you, or what? It's like, no, thank you.
Hippies forever. Like I imagine the 60s and 70s. Everyone was like, man, when weed is legal, there's going to be world peace. There's going to be no war. Everyone's going to be a brother to humankind. And now weed is legal, and it's like
worse.
Extreme capitalism immediately. They're just like, let's tax the shit out of this.
Yeah.
And like, apparently weed doesn't make you less evil. I think like evil people get high. And they're just
true.
like high-end evil.
But maybe, no, not when they're high. It's hard to be evil when you're high because it just kind of mellows you out. But after they're high, they're probably killing, I don't know. We've gone long. What is this?
We're at 1 hour and 12 minutes.
You're a good guest.
Am I?
Usually because about 40, I go, are we done yet?
Yeah,
I can't hold it up.
Who's the worst guest ever?
Matt Daddy Lockwood.
Yep.
Really?
That motherfucker sucked.
Why? What? He just didn't contribute?
First of all, I love him, but it's like everything I shot at him, he was just like, no. And I'm like, yes, Andy, motherfucker. I can't keep this up.
You're
It's
easy
sustainable.
you talk, and I could just sit here, probably not say anything, and just let you go, and that would be a good podcast.
Not all the time. It
Not
just
every
depends.
Today
Today I
Yeah.
was good. Today I was good. Sometimes, like usually I have a guest is like, I need you because I can't carry this. Well, then when I'm on a roll, I was like, maybe I could have done my first solo podcast. But I like a dynamic because it's not always, I'm not always.
I'm intimidated by doing a solo because I do one with Punky.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
She talks.
anytime there's a low moment, she just jumps in with like the weirdest shit I've ever heard. And
Yeah,
it's the
because
best.
she's the best.
Yeah.
I love Punky Johnson. She's funny as fuck.
Yep.
And love her. And then, so thank you for being a good guest.
I love you.
I love you. We shared a horrible moment. I was crying in the OR, and you gave me a hug, and it hit me. So thank you.
buddy.
Rest in peace, Brody Stevens. Brody Stevens. 818 till I die. Yes. Positive push. Do it. Do something, Brody.
Yes.
Yes. Leather exterior. He's just a weirdo. He's
I
just
make money. It feels good to take your mom out to dinner and pay half.
he was just that guy. Luke Schwartz, I believe it was him yesterday, said he went because they park cars at the Comedy Store of the headliners, and he would park Brody's car, and Brody would give him a 5 as a tip, be like, "Can I get $4.50 back?" And
I heard Brody would stay super late so he didn't have to tip the tour guys. I park for free.
I park for free. I just have to stay here till 4 a.m.
I just landed a role in a movie. It's an adult film. It's a solo. It's a solo scene on a yoga mat.
It's a solo yoga mat scene. Yeah, it's just a true original.
And brought so much happiness and positivity to the community. And
he just brought love. I said this on my post, but he was when you first hang out at the Comedy Store, it's a very lonely, dark place, and it's kind of the wolf vibe. You know, like if you're new, it's just like stay over there.
yeah.
You got to work your way into this conversation, in this circle, and it's just standing into the circle. It's weird. Anyways, Brody was always kind and shook my hand and asked me my name and then remembered your name, which is unheard of in the comedy scene.
Yes.
Something so small can go so far. He was the man.
Yeah, and he didn't let anything stop him from being who he was. Even, I mean, his political opinions, like everything. He just was true to himself and let the chips fall where they may. And in a world where everyone's judging each other so extremely, it's just a remarkable thing to see someone like that.
Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it.
A true original person.
Thank you for listening to Community Services, my man, Ahamed Weinberg. Very, very fucking funny. Deserve everything he gets and continues to get. I have no doubt he'll blow up. And rest in peace, Brody. We love you. And that's it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.